We want to convince you that you are the creator of your own reality, and that you do it because you give attention to things, and by giving attention to things, you emanate a signal. And the more you give attention to something, and the more you emanate that signal, the easier it is to emanate that signal. Because law of attraction makes whatever you've got going on easy to continue. It's more difficult to change a signal. It's more difficult to stop a belief, or the accurate way to say that is to begin a more productive, more beneficial belief. You live in a world that is based upon attraction. There is no exclusion in this universe in which we are all focused, which means there's no such thing as no. You can't look at unwanted and push it away, because when you look at unwanted, you call it to you. Because when you look at unwanted, you offer a vibration about unwanted. And when you offer a vibration about unwanted, it's introduced into your point of attraction. And anything that's introduced into your point of attraction is a player in what you allow to come to you, or what you disallow to come to you. In other words, it's all about what you've got going on vibrationally. So we are really not advocating that you identify things unwanted and say no to them at all. But we also understand that there are plenty of things that you want to say no to, and it's right that you would. We just want you to briefly say no, and then immediately following the no, say yes to something that you prefer. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you also know what you do want. But as humans, you have become oriented to putting more emphasis upon unwanted, because you believe somehow, and it is really difficult for us to understand how you have come to believe something that is so defiant of universal laws. How do you come to believe that you can say no to things and they will go away? Well, it's because you've been living this life of sort of mediocrity, where you have been dabbling with creation through action rather than through vibration. You can pick stuff up and move it around, and you can say, no, I don't want it over there. I want it over there. And you can move something from place to place. And so you've convinced yourself, since your action is so easy for you to observe around you, you've convinced yourself that the world operates by you just defining what you want and then using your physical willpower or strength to make it so. But we want to introduce to you, connect with you on a deeper level of understanding. We want you to address your true leverage. We want you to address your leverage of attraction. We want you to accept that you are the creator of your own reality, because you offer a vibration that law of attraction is responding to. And we do not believe that our message to you will be difficult for you to accept fully, because we know that law of attraction will help us, because there is no evidence to the contrary anywhere in your universe. When you focus upon what you want and you do it with enough consistency, that you begin to feel good, that you begin to feel light and easy about it, that you begin to feel expectant about it, hopeful and then expectant, hopeful and then believing, hopeful and then knowing. We know that when you know that, when you know something, you are in the vibrational place to allow the reality of it to be evidenced in your experience. We have a new way of saying this. We know that when you know something, when you've practiced a belief long enough that you know it, you're going to realize it. And the reason that we are putting the emphasis on realize it is because it's going to be your interpretation. Have you had experiences where you just know something, and almost as soon as you know it, it happens? Esther was watching a little piece of television this morning. She turned it on because she always likes to gloat about the weather where she is. So she likes to see the weather patterns, and then she likes to look at the weather where she is. And then she likes to acknowledge one more time, I'm in the very best possible weather place. So she was watching a little piece of something that was showing the weather. And then a piece came on of a man who is throwing a basketball at a Lakers game from center court. And he threw it right in and won his big prize of several $1,000s. And he said, I told the mascot right before I shot, I know this is going in. Now, he's a basketball coach, so he knows they don't always go in. But he knew that one was going to. He knew that one was going to. You have knowing about things, but you have to practice yourself into the vicinity of knowing. So we want to convince you that what comes to you isn't the basis that you then sift and sort and evaluate in order to gain your knowledge. In other words, we want to show you how you don't search the world or even your life experience for the facts that surround you, and then based upon those facts, achieve your knowing. Instead, we want you to understand that you achieve your knowing by finding a vibration of something that you desire and practicing it until it's easier and easier and easier to believe it. And once you practice something long enough that it's easy to believe, you will know it. And then the facts will back up your knowing. So we'll just leave it there for now. The facts always do back up your knowing. It's just that sometimes you know stuff you don't want to know. You know stuff you don't want to know. And you know why you know stuff you don't want to know? You've practiced thinking those thoughts of those things you don't want to know. Now we know that you want to say to us, but it's all around. Esther has said that to us on many occasions through the years. But Abraham, it's true. It's true, and therefore I believe it deserves my attention. And we say, we would add something to that if we were standing in your physical shoes. If it's true and you like it, give it your undivided attention. But if it's true and you don't want it, then why practice the vibration of something that someone else has made true by their attention to it? Why practice that reality into your realization? You're sort of kind of getting this, aren't you? You create your own reality, and you do it because you think. But you have control of what you think. But most of you don't really exercise control of what you think because you believe that you owe your attention to it if it's in front of you. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. We know this has been a very brief seminar, but we have nothing more for you. There just is not anything more. Everything else that happens this day will just be a longer version of that. You know that you are more than these physical bodies that you see, that you are source energy extended out here on this leading edge, and that everything that is non-physical is extended out here on this leading edge with you, and that when you want something, those of us who are non-physically focused are out here focused upon your desire. And do you know that you could not ever feel a negative emotion if it weren't for two facts? We're focused on what you want and you're not. If you would take either of those facts out of the equation, you would never feel negative emotion. If we were not focused upon what you want, if we were not focused from the framework of who you are, then in your not being focused there, you would not feel any negative emotion because there would be no contradictory energy. So, two things. We're focused upon who you really are, all that you've evolved to, and what you want, and you're not. So, we just have to give it to you very clearly here. We have to give it to you like it is. We're not going to change. We're not going to stop focusing upon what you want. So if you want to feel good, in other words, we're not going to lower our vibrational expectation to your doubt. It'd make you feel better if we would, but we won't. Because we can't. Because we're standing in the vibrational frequency of all that you've evolved to. And when you expand, we're there. So you really have no choice. That's weird, isn't it? You create your own reality, but you have no choice. You create your own reality, but you have no choice if you want to feel good, other than to find somehow, some way to raise your frequency to match that of your vibration, your vibrational desire, of the vibration of who you really are.